Okay, hello guys, and once again welcome back to the channel. For this video we are going to do a recap for the Scythe class, or the Dream Eater class, which is based on the Japanese folklore, which will eat your nightmare away, or will either give you a nightmare depending on if the player is very strong, if you do encounter them. Well, the first thing we need to find out would be the two main attributes of the Scythe class. So if you check on your profile, the main attribute, or one of the main attribute, would be magic attack, and the second main attribute will be cooldown reduction. So it's kind of similar with the Soul Dancer class. So for magic attack, you would need int related stats, cores, and items, and for cooldown reduction, you will need insight and CDR related items. Now, what are the main stat points? So the main stat points is once again similar with the Soul Dancer class. We have Constitution, Intelligence, and Cooldown Reduction. For Constitution, this will increase HP, magical defense, physical and magical defense, and this will also increase, if I'm not mistaken, increase crit resistance by 2, and Intelligence will increase magic attack and 5 on magic attack. We also have on HP and 2 on multi strike. And for insight, this will increase your HP by 240, physical attack by 2, AP by 4, and CDR by 4. I believe in the Soul Dancer this would be 6, but for the side class it's currently at 4. Okay, so what will this entail? Before you decide on the main stats you want to focus on, do take note that the skills, or most of the attacks, will have or will cost you energy. The blue rose flower here would be your mental energy gauge. So every time you use a skill, this would reduce your mental energy by a certain degree. Now, CDR is related with the cooldown, or not the cooldown, but with the accumulation of mental energy. So some players would either go for max intelligence for the course or max insight, but that would depend on how you play. So we would always want to make a point that course and stats will depend upon the player on what main attribute they want to use or what subtraits they want to use. If a player wants to have multi-strike, then he or she would definitely focus on dexterity. But if the player wants to have a high defense, then he or she would focus on constitution. But for me, I would either focus on 9 intelligence, then 5 insight, then 2 on constitution. Or I would go with 9 cooldown reduction, or 9 insight, 5 intelligence, and constitution. So let's check out the course. So for the course, as I mentioned, I focused on 9 CDR because I believe this has a correlation with the mental energy that we have. So I would want to cast skills a lot faster or more frequently, and I also want to affect the accumulation of mental energy every time I use a skill. So this would make me attack a lot faster, a lot stronger, and more frequently. And then afterwards, I focused on 5 intelligence, as you can see here, to boost my magic attack. And afterwards, I focused on constitution to boost my defense and HP. Because some of the skills, or one or two of the skills of the Soul Dancer, not Soul Dancer, of the Scythe class, actually has a defense boost of 5 seconds, which, if I'm not mistaken, would increase your defense by 2,000 points. But still, as mentioned, everything will depend on the kind of playstyle you want or that you desire. If you want to be a critical hitter, then probably you'll go Dex, then Intelligence and cooldown reduction, or you'll either go Dex, cooldown reduction, and Intelligence. So that would be up to the player. So what else can we check here? Let's check for the element. Okay, so for the element, the main element for the Scythe class is actually the earth element. This one is fire, so the first one is fire. The second one is water, and the third one is the earth element. The fourth one is wind, and this one I believe is haste level. So the main element for the side class would be the earth element, and you can boost your earth element by equipping them on your gear options. So I'm not really playing this character on the HK server, and I'm probably gonna be waiting for this to release in the global server, which is soon if we check out the reports or the posts on the main page.